Welcome, Fifth Downers. This is the Fifth Down with your host, K-Mill, and to my left, Mr. Johnny Slokes. What's up, Johnny?
Yo, what's up? Nice to be here once again.
All right. Well, we got a lot in store for you guys today. We are going to be going over our individual, me being K-Mill, and Johnny Slokes, and our individual running back rankings for the 2016 season. Any news and notes that we have?
Rashard Perriman apparently did not tear his ACL.
Yeah, I know. I was surprised to hear that too. That's why I was surprised when I first heard it. Now, I guess we're gonna have him this season, so we'll see. I think he'll probably miss the majority of training camp, though. What do you think?
I mean, they'll probably be a little bit more cautious with him, right?
Yeah, I mean, I hope so.
I mean, do you still? Who do you like the most over there in Baltimore from the receivers?
I mean, as far as upside goes, you got to love Perriman, but I think I'm still a little higher on Kamar Aiken because Steve Smith Sr. to me is like kind of over the hill. There's really nobody to like in that situation, but I think if you have to go with upside, you go with Perriman.
I mean, I think I still kind of like Kamar Aiken. I don't really want the headache of Perriman anymore. Like, I was like, you know what? I think altogether I might just kind of stay away. I might just stay away from the receivers altogether. I know someone's going to produce this. Don't know who.
I think that he's going to be that guy that just. I don't know, he's always injury prone. I think he might play like 2 games this season, and then he'll be hurt again, and then it'll be like, fuck. And then everybody's going to go crazy about Kamar Aiken on the waiver wire, so.
And, you heard about what happened to Darren McFadden. He fractured his elbow.
Well, I mean.
He was picking up a cup off of his table, and it just broke. No, I'm kidding.
I was like, really? That's a story?
If there's no more competition.
Yeah.
I mean that kind of opens up the hole for Alfred Morris to take that number 2, right?
Yeah, I was really excited about that.
He said he's going to be back after training camp. It said 2 to 3 months.
I don't know. Well, it still opens up the door for maybe Alfred Morris to cement himself as the number 2.
I don't know if I told you this before, but I was like, man, I think Morris could steal the spot away from McFadden because he got hurt. He's going to get hurt. And then he did get hurt, but they drafted Zeke, so.
Yeah, they always got Jerry Jones going for the flashy pick, but who knows? That backfield is a mess for me aside from Elliott, but you know what? I don't know. I think that this is Morris's chance maybe to steal the second reps away from Jerry McFadden.
Yep.
Interesting to see.
Without a doubt. You know that if you guys ever are looking for our shows, that you can catch us on the UNB network. Like, we're part of that now.
That's a thing.
Yeah, they got all kinds of sports there. The sports news experts online.
Gotta love it.
That's a good take, right?
Yeah, that's a good take.
So let's want to just jump into our
let's jump right into it. Let's start.
I know you guys always hear the same fucking 5 players every show from every podcast that you listen to. So what we're gonna do a little bit different here. We're gonna start at the bottom of our rankings and work our way up.
I like the sound of that.
We covered our 1s and 2s. We ranked from 1 through 24 because we care about 12-team leagues because they're the men's league. They're the men's department.
Yeah, if you play in an 8-team league, you're just a bitch. Sorry.
The league. All right, so, I mean, I don't think you got him in your top 24. He barely made mine. I got Matt Jones at number 24. I think on volume alone, especially in a league like ours that rewards points for every carry.
Yeah, Matt.
I think that on volume alone makes him an RB2.
Yeah, now with Alfred Morris out of the situation there, that kind of opens things up for Matt Jones. I mean, he wasn't too spectacular last year. He was averaging.
He had one good game.
Yeah.
Whereas there was 120 yards and a touchdown and week 2.
Yeah, you're right.
And Jamie's like, oh, that's gonna be my keeper next year.
Yeah. Good luck with that. Yeah, he was only averaging 3.4 yards a carry, so when you're just looking at last year's stats, there was really nothing to like about that Washington backfield last year.
And to make matters worse, he was fumbling the ball.
Yeah,
that gets you out of the league real fast. So hopefully he can hold on to that fucking thing.
There were a lot of rookies that just couldn't hold on to the ball last year.
Matt Jones, Abdullah,
Melvin Gordon. I mean, a lot of Butterfinger rookies. All right, cool. Well, at my number 24 is a guy I drafted last year, and much to my chagrin, he played like typical Jeremy Hill. So that was my number 24 guy. Jeremy Hill, he was. I don't really like his sophomore season. You know, he only had 794 yards on the year, and he was only averaging 3.6 per carry. So I mean, that's not like, you know, Page.
It seemed like he was doing a lot of zagging in that backfield. Like he wasn't just going straight
north and south.
Let's go straight through there.
Yeah, north and south running for sure.
You know what's funny is we both have Jeremy Hill ranked on this list, and we have him ranked very similarly. Like I have him at 23, actually.
Yeah, well, why don't you go into that situation? Why do you think? I guess.
I mean, I guess I like him a little bit more than Matt Jones because I think he's going to score more touchdowns.
Yeah, that's true. The touchdown upside's always there for him.
But you know the thing with him is we both have him ranked very similarly, like right here at the bottom end of our rankings. But I think that Gio Bernard's going to outscore him this year, so I don't. Maybe I need to reevaluate that a little bit.
Yeah, I think this is subject to change.
I really just don't see a whole lot changing, man.
Yeah, I don't either. I mean, and you know what? And you know, since he's always been, you know, the last 2 years since Jeremy Hill's been in the league. Well, I'm sorry, his sophomore year and now this year. He's kind of just, you know, they've always said, oh yeah, he's the number one, quote unquote. But then again, you know, he's really just kind of 50-50 in it with Bernard. So,
you know, I just don't see a whole lot changing. I could see Hill getting me like I don't know, like 800 yards, 8 touchdowns. Like I could see that.
Yeah, no, definitely. But yeah, I like him in that 24 spot. But now I'll go into my 23. Ryan Matthews, a guy who I had him stashed on my bench much of last year because I was hoping that Chip Kelly would just give him the chance. He was the more effective runner in that shotgun system. I felt like DeMarco Murray, he fucked me last year, plain and simple. So
next year, now they don't have that Chip Kelly system. Are you worried about him not running out of the shotgun all the time and going into a more traditional offense?
I mean, he proved in his years in San Diego. I mean, they ran out of the shotgun too, but I think he proved in his years in San Diego he's a good under like behind center running back too. So
what else did he prove in San Diego?
That he gets injured a lot.
Yeah, that's another issue. I have him actually higher than you, but
yeah, I love his speed and all his attributes, but the problem with me is just the injuries and all that stuff, and the fact that, you know, what are we going to see? Wait, here's my big question with the Philadelphia offense: are teams going to respect the pass enough to like respect the run? I mean, I don't know. You know. So basically what I'm getting at is, are they going to pull what was happening in St. Louis last year with Todd Gurley? They didn't respect the pass game, so Todd Gurley was just getting the box stacked on him every time.
Got the rookie in, man.
Exactly, that's my point. So
what is your daddy? Who is your daddy, and what does he do?
All right, so moving right along here, go ahead and give us your 22, Johnny.
Well, this guy, I have him ranked at 22, more because I think it has a lot of upside to his game. He is a guy that's finally going to get a chance to get to the backfield himself. He was kind of like a hype player, I guess you could say. Mm-hmm. J.J.
Yeah, I like that.
I got him at number 22. I feel like maybe that Miami's not quite sold on him because they were looking for like backs like C.J. Anderson. I think Arian Foster had a visit, like players like that. So they're maybe not completely sold on him, but he's the guy there that's going to get the hunk of the carries. You got to still worry about injury issues because of his past. That's why he got drafted in the 5th round last year. So you always got to worry about that. But he finally gets his chance to get his 200 carries because that's all he's going to get in Miami.
Yeah, when you look at a guy like look at a guy like Ajayi, I mean, I don't blame the Dolphins for wanting to look for proven veterans, you know, because you got a guy, he's going to be a second-year player next year. He didn't really get, I guess, like starting rookie reps. Like they didn't thrust him into that starting running back position. But
he looked good when he was in.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he was flashy. Like I said, he's definitely got that speed. If he can stay healthy, I have huge upside. And I'll talk about him. I have him a little higher on my rankings.
My question is, I mean, it seems like he has good hands, but like, how many catches will he actually get next year?
Yeah, that's true.
Do you think he get over 40? I think that's where I got my line at, I guess.
Yeah, you know what? That's really hard to judge. I guess it depends. He did remind me a little bit of Lamar Miller when he was out there last year. He's got kind of like the Lamar Miller build, the speed. Plus, he can catch passes out of the backfield. He was doing a little bit of that last year. I don't know. I think he'll get right around 40, maybe like a little under.
Okay. Who do you got at 22?
Jeremy Langford. Guy out of Chicago, and the reason I have him so low, I would really have him higher because I really liked what I saw from him last year. The only problem is that, like we were talking about a couple days ago, was that Chicago backfield's looking awful crowded now.
It's looking nasty back there. I honestly, Langford didn't even make my list. He did not make my top 24.
That's actually really surprising. I think he should definitely be in anybody's top 24 at this point. But the reason I have him so low, I thought I would honestly even have him close to the top 10 if it wasn't so crowded, because John Fox is he was thrusting Kadeem Carey into more of that red zone role, and just a bunch of other guys in this. I just don't like the situation he's being thrust into in Chicago. I feel like he might be the 1-2 back, but I don't like what I'm seeing.
I think he's going to get the majority. Don't get me wrong.
No, yeah, right,
but,
of course.
I mean, you got Howard there. You got Kadeem Carey, who they're using a little bit more towards the end of the season last year, and they also have coming off IR. They got Jaquiz Rogers.
Jaquiz.
Yeah, they got Jiz Rogers.
Jiz Rogers.
So he's a guy that can play on the third down and steal some third down work away.
Yeah.
He can jizz on you on third down.
Jiz Rogers.
So that's I just kind of rather just stay away.
Yeah, he's one of my with caution picks.
His Langford stock has been plummeting lately. I realized he was. I remember at one point I seen him as high as like the third round. This is probably back in like April though.
Yeah, no.
Now it's like it's a lot late. You can see him going a lot later. So
yeah, I think that all those things are kind of attributing, and fantasy football players are kind of realizing like what is going on with Langford. So. Anyways, all right. Well, moving right along then.
Who do you got at 21?
21. With much chagrin, and I say that lightly, I have DeMarco Murray. This is a guy I'm really not looking forward to next year. I know he disappointed a lot of fantasy football fans last year. The only reason that I have him on my list is because I do like him in Tennessee better than I like him in Philadelphia. The only thing that really worries me with DeMarco Murray is what are we going to see? Are we going to see Henry? Are we going to see Murray? I don't know what's going to happen.
So
my gut tells me Murray.
So you like him? You like him more than Ryan Matthews?
I wouldn't say that. I think that I like him in that system better. I do like him a little bit better than Ryan Matthews because I just think Philly's going to be a hot mess next year.
I don't really have. Actually, I have Murray a spot higher than you. I have him at 20, but I really don't like him there either because I'm really even unsure like what's going on over there. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I've been hearing good things about.
I just don't understand. I just don't understand the reason why they went and drafted Henry too. Like,
yeah, it's really a head scratching move. But here's my thing, and I've heard reports already that Henry's looking really good right there, and he's getting the starter reps.
They're saying that he actually likes. They like his hands.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if you see him catching him passes out of the backfield. And here's my other thing too: is that I wouldn't even be surprised if and these are very early rankings, but I wouldn't be surprised if DeMarco Murray knocks out of my top 24. He's one of my bump guys. These last like four guys in the numbers 21 through 24 spot. I mean, these are guys that are subject to heavy change before the draft even starts. So. He's a guy that I like from the players that were there, I had to rank him like right there, but I don't really dig that guy.
See, at 21, I have Ryan Matthews. I know you had him at what, 22?
I had him at 23.
23. I have him at 21 actually. That's another guy I really don't like care for him in that spot.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really think he's going to do too well in Philly, actually. He might get the majority of the work over there, but
mm-hmm. Yeah,
I just feel like the pace of the pace of what they're playing at in Chip Kelly's offense is going to come way down, and it's going to hurt their numbers a lot.
Yeah, I believe so too.
We covered up 4 spots right so far, right?
Yeah. So I think
out of those 4 players that you just mentioned, Which one of those players do you think has the best chance of cracking into RB1 territory?
That's tough, but I think the one with the least amount of question marks, and I think the only thing that would hold him back is injuries, is Ryan Matthews.
You think he can become an RB1 in that system? You think he can catch enough passes? He's shown he can catch a little bit.
Yeah, I think it's either him or Hill. Those are the only two that I'm really thinking of right there. And I think I like Matthews there. The only problem with Matthews is the injury concerns.
What would it take to get Hill into RB1 territory?
I mean, he's going to have to definitively prove from the start
healthy.
of the season. He's gonna, number one, stay healthy. Number two, he's going to definitely have to do a lot more north and south running, like we were talking about. He was kind of just trying to zigzag and get things, and he would run. It was like he was running forever, and you were thinking he might get around that edge, but he wouldn't do it. So I don't know. It's a struggle for me because I think it's Hill, I think it's Matthews. I don't know.
What would it take Hill to become an RB1? Obviously more volume.
Yeah, more volume definitely. I think that he's going to have to assert himself as the number one from day one, and instead of getting...
And you'd certainly still have to get those goal line carries for those touchdowns, too, I think.
That's what I'm saying, yeah. And I think that, honestly, what would it take for Jeremy Hill to get up in there? It would have to take Gio Bernard getting an injury or leaving the team, so...
All right. Out of the four guys I mentioned, they had Ryan Matthews, J.J., Jeremy Hill, and Matt Jones. The one guy that I think has the best chance of getting into that RB1 territory is J.J. I feel like maybe if he could just bust off some nice long runs, have a couple of big games, have be the Miami running back back there.
You be the guy, yeah. Exactly.
I feel like he'd definitely have to score touchdowns. I don't really see him as a touchdown guy yet. That remains to be seen.
Yeah, we haven't seen enough from him yet to know what to expect. But
I really don't see Ryan Matthews doing it. I don't see Jeremy Hill doing it. Matt Jones, I see him as an RB2. I just don't see it happening.
I want to say Langford too, but I just don't like. I really don't like his red zone situation. That scares me a lot with Kadeem Carey.
I didn't even have him as an RB2. So
yeah, well. All right. Well, so I think we did your number 20, which was DeMarco Murray.
Yeah. So we already covered my 20. So who do you have at 20?
I got Mr. Reliable himself, Latavius Murray. He's the guy. He's not flashy. He's not gonna blow up every other week or something like that. But he'll consistently get you right around. I mean, last year where did he finish? He finished right in the RB1.
He was in that area.
Yeah.
Based solely on the fact that he didn't really get hurt. So
really, yeah, and I think that right now he's kind of going for pretty good value. What do you think?
Well, let's pull it up real fast. If we go and look at the ADP over here on Fantasy Football Calculator, you know how we love to use that shit. Let's pull it up. Computers wants to be slow today.
Yeah, Latavius Murray was really head scratching.
Off the top of my head, I've seen him go in the 5th round before.
Yeah, so. See, I would love that in the 5th round.
Let's see, his average ADP is actually back into the fourth round pick.
I can do that with him. Because he's a guy that essentially I think this year you're really gonna, and I have him pretty low on this list, but he's a guy that I still think could get you RB1 numbers.
I was just about to say it. He's actually 4 spots lower on your list than mine. I got him at 16.
Yeah, that's because one of the guys you already mentioned, J.J., I have him pretty high on my list. But
oh, really?
Yeah, we'll go into that later. But who's sitting at your? So we'll go to your 19. Who you got at 19?
It's another back that's really not that exciting. You got Carlos Hyde at 19. Once again, just based purely on just volume. He's not going to score a whole lot of touchdowns. I don't see him scoring more than six touchdowns. There has been some reports that Chip Kelly does plan to throw him the ball some, so that could probably boost him potentially up my list a little bit. But
yeah, I'm a little higher on him. I like Carlos Hyde a lot. I think I love the upside of him. The only problem I have with him is that same thing I said with the other bottomers running backs is that our team is really going to respect Blaine Gabbert enough to not stack the box against Carlos Hyde, because if you're really the only weapon in that arsenal,
he really is.
Yeah, and that's what scares me about him too. But I do have him higher because the upside could be tremendous for him this year.
I mean, I realize a lot of the people that I have ranked back here tend to be like more injury prone, like Hyde, Murray, Matthews,
right?
Jai.
No, right, yeah, and a disclaimer too. These lists are like our personal lists. Like these aren't like derived from like any of the experts. These are our lists, so you're gonna see some stark contrasts.
I guess I did that. And I didn't really mean to do it, but I guess I just did.
Yeah.
So, I mean, so what? You said what? Where'd you have?
19.
Yeah.
I had Jonathan Stewart, who isn't a spectacularly like flashy, red zone running back. I mean, what was that we set on him? Out of how many attempts did he actually score touchdowns?
Oh my God, he had like 45 red zone attempts, and he scored, which means it's inside the 20. He could be anywhere inside the 20, granted, but he only had 6 rushing touchdowns.
I mean, he finished the season right under 1,000 yards, 989. Was averaging 4.1 yards per carry.
He probably would have been over 1,000 if he didn't get hurt at the end.
Yeah, exactly, and then like paved the way for the pain train. But
I love me some pain train.
Yeah, I know. We all know you're high on the pain train. But I mean, sorry, not Latavius Murray. Jonathan Stewart. He's a guy that I'm looking at. I like him in that 19 spot for me because he's a guy. He's kind of getting to that over the hill age. Plus, he's got guys like Mike Tolbert. Like we said before, the pain train, who could see some third down reps, So I would have him higher on this list, but he's getting to that age where he's just getting old. He actually looked kind of out of shape to me last year a little bit, but like I said, he's wasn't particularly efficient in the red zone last year. I mean, he only had 6 touchdowns all last year.
A lot of times it was Cam or it was Tolbert. So,
yeah, well, that's just what it takes away from.
That's one thing that really bothers me about him.
Yeah, that's why I have him so low. I would have him much higher, but that's the only reason. And
another thing is he doesn't really catch passes either.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they were mainly using Tolbert as like the pass catcher, and I use that term lightly because
they have like Fozzie Whitaker that catches passes.
Yeah, Fozzie Whitaker. Yeah. And that's another guy too. I totally forgot to mention him. Yeah, he's another guy that's going to cut into that workload a little bit. I mean, not to like.
They used him very sparingly. It seems like they honestly used Stewart a lot more than I thought they would. I thought they'd give him some more breathers room, but they really didn't.
Yeah, they really relied on him heavy last year, and he didn't do anything in the Super Bowl.
I was actually honestly I was surprised that he lasted as long as he did without breaking.
Yeah, I know.
That's why last year I was telling everybody, man, I got the pain train on all my teams.
Yeah, definitely. He's a guy that you're going to want to handcuff if you draft him. So, all right, cool. So
I actually had him at 18, so that worked out pretty good.
Yeah. So you're 19, Mr. Carlos Hyde. So wait, we already went over that.
Yeah, we already went over Hyde. We already went over Stewart, who had 18. Who'd you have at 18?
I had Mr. Jay Ajay. I have him a little higher on my list than you do.
Yeah, you tell me why you have him higher than me. Like you have him go over guys like DeMarco Murray, Ryan Matthews. You have him over Carlos Hyde.
Yeah, you know what? And the only reason is, honestly, I out of all the running backs that I've already named, I think I like Latavius Murray the most just because he's Mr. Consistency. But here's my thing with Ajay. He's so much flashier. You know what?
What does he represent?
To me, if you haven't noticed by now, I love upside. Yes. I put the guys with the highest upside higher on my list. And I see Jay Ajay. I mean, I'm saying next year, if he has the year that I think he can have, I'm thinking over 40 receptions. I'm thinking eclipsing the 1,000-yard mark. I'm thinking probably about 6-7 touchdowns. I mean, this is a guy. I'm even thinking maybe even 10 touchdowns. This guy, I'm telling you.
So you're thinking if he gets 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns, he's representing the guy as an RB1.
Oh yeah, no, I think that we could see a potentially breakout year for this guy. The reason I have him lower than because if he's really a true running back one, I'm going to have him a little higher. But the only thing is,
he's not.
No, he's not yet. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying the potential is there though. The upside is there. I see him last year. We saw flashes of it, and I liked what I saw. So for me, the sky's the limit with Jay Ajay. But the only thing that really scares me about him is the fact that he just, I don't know, that injury thing just really scares me coming out of college. Like I said, that was what was shying a lot of teams away from drafting him, was the fact that, he is a little injury prone. So let's hope he stays healthy. But yeah, I mean, he's a guy that I really see. I have him very high on my list because I really like him.
I mean, another guy that I have high on my list is Latavius Murray, and I think it's just more the fact that
you know what you're getting from him.
He's consistent. I got him all the way up at 16. I mean, number 17 on my list is another back that I'm really not that fond of, but I had to put him here. Is Mr. Cheeseburger Eddie Lacy. I got him at number 17. I've seen some conflicting pictures of him. Some pictures show, like, yeah, he really slimmed down. He looks like he's in good shape. And then I've seen some not so flattering pictures.
Yeah, I don't know what we're gonna get from him.
I mean,
I'll go ahead and talk about him too, because he's actually my number 17 as well. So we both had him at the same spot.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely a disappointment from last year. It brought his value down a little bit for this year. Mm-hmm. Honestly, I think this is where he probably should have been going last year.
I mean, anything's an improvement from last year, because I was with my wife. I know I already told the story, but I was with my wife watching the Cardinals and the Packers last year in the playoff game, where the Cardinals won in overtime. And when Eddie Lacy scored the longest touchdown of his season last year, it was funny because I was watching him and I was like, wow. He looks really slow.
I was surprised they couldn't catch him.
I was surprised that nobody caught him because he was running so slow. I was like, he had so much. I was so surprised. Anyways, yeah, Eddie Lacy, man, he's a guy that frustrates me because I want to have him higher on this list. But the thing is just last year, man, he showed up out of shape. I'm kind of scared of what I'm going to get this year. Are we going to get an in-shape Eddie Lacy to where we're going to see his breakout rookie campaign? Or are we going to see Eddie Lacy from last year who's just slow and out of shape? Because he's kind of on his last leg. I mean, Mike McCarthy already said that he really is kind of tired of Lacy's antics right now. So let's hope he shows up and maybe you get good value for him.
I mean, I got him at 17. It's very possible he could be an RB1. Green Bay's offense comes back, maybe they get rolling again, and he starts getting those touchdowns that he can get, and he starts lowering his pad level down better and running between the tackles the way he knows how to do. I think that he could potentially jump up there right now. That's why I have him at 17. I do think that he's going to be all right. I don't think he's going to be anything like what he used to be, really, though.
No.
That's the thing that worries me.
Yeah, the thing that worries me about Eddie Lacy is, just like you said, I don't think we're going to see anything like his rookie campaign ever again. But the thing that also, I guess, makes me feel better about Eddie Lacy is maybe we could see something like that. So right now, he's a huge question mark. He's a guy that I'm looking at maybe avoiding on draft day. But I do think he will have a decent enough season to justify where I have him.
Where do you think his average draft position's at right now?
Probably 4th round.
Don't wish it was the 4th round.
Where is it?
Back end of the 2nd.
I don't like that at all. That's where I would want to have him, is the 4th.
I mean, where I'm picking, he's never making it on my team. Not even if I wanted to, he wouldn't be there.
No, yeah, because you can't justify that pick at that spot, or at least for me and you. I know we kind of see eye to eye on this pick.
All right, so we already got into Latavius Murray. I mean, one thing I kind of wished about him though, because he's number 16 on my list. Mm-hmm. I kind of wish we would see more of those home run plays. Because he's got really good speed, but he doesn't hit any home runs. Yeah, he's got kind of just the ground and pound epitome of it, just like nickels and dimes the whole way there. So I don't know. Yeah, who do you got at 16?
16, I have the late and great Matt Forte. Yeah, and you know what? I want to have him higher on this list. The only thing that scares me about Matt Forte,
have him higher on this list.
I know you do. We know you want to suck his dick. Okay, we get it. But
it's my forte.
Yeah, it is your forte. I know that. Yeah, Matt Forte. I want to have him higher on this list. The only problem with me is, I think we've seen it before. A shining example of it was last year with DeMarco Murray, who had a fucking amazing year with Dallas. Switched teams. I mean, granted, it was Chip Kelly's system he went to. I'm just saying, guys that switch teams for me, I like seeing consistency. And when I see these guys switch teams, I just, I don't know what to expect about him. But you can't, look at a guy like Matt Forte and not go, well, what if, So Matt Forte, he's a guy that I love personally. He's great. He was averaging 4.1 yards per carry last year.
He's never been a yards per carry type guy, though.
No, he's not. Yeah, you're right. And he had total yards for the year just under 900. And also he did miss 6 weeks.
He didn't miss that much time. He missed probably 2 or 3 games though.
Yeah. I think he missed 4 games in all. But yeah, he was and he's a guy that was getting a good volume too. He was getting 16, under 17.
He's always been a volume guy.
Yeah, he definitely gets the volume. If the Jets utilize him like they should utilize him, he's going to have a good year next year. So
I, as you know, I do love me some Matt Forte. I do think that he could still be a third down back. He really didn't show any signs of slowing down last year. He just happened to just get hurt.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, but
they do have other running backs in that backfield that can make some plays. You got Powell showed he can catch the ball pretty nicely out of the backfield. They signed Kerry Robinson, who can go up in between the tackles as well. But I think Forte is going to be called on early and often, man. I think he's got to get some breather rooms or some breathers from Powell every now and then. But I have him at high as number 12. I think he's going to be an RB1. He's in a PPR league. He's never finished outside the top 12. So
that is true, yeah, and that's the reason why I have him, obviously in my rankings. But the thing is, I just have him a little bit lower. I just don't know what I'm going to expect for him. He's a guy that on draft day with some of these guys that I'm about to name here in the upcoming rankings, I'm going to have them a little bit higher just because I don't have as many question marks as I do of what I'm going to get out of Matt Forte. Don't get me wrong, high upside. Everything. I love Matt Forte, so we'll see what we get from him.
I'm definitely drafting Powell from drafting Forte.
Oh yeah, you definitely want to handcuff him. All right, cool. So who did we already go over your number 16? Yeah, we did.
Yeah,
okay, so go ahead and kick us off with number 15.
Well, number 15 is I got C.J. Anderson. It's a guy that he is another guy that has potential to be an RB1. I think
definitely.
If he catches enough passes, and one thing that really bothers me, and this is why he as low as he is on my list right now at number 15 and not higher, is it just felt like between him and Hillman, they had to run some long distances to get some touchdowns. I don't think they have too many red zone touchdowns.
Yeah, you're right. That is a good observation. I do think though that Denver with their contract offer when they finally re-signed him this year, I think it definitely is paying him the money that's you're the guy, you're going to earn this paycheck. So I think that it's kind of unquestioned right now. He is the guy in Denver. Denver loves to have a good running back traditionally. I know Gary Kubiak loves a versatile running back. I mean, I like.
We'll see how he looks now that he's not playing through injuries like he was last year. They did draft Devontae Booker, and I love that pick too. It's another guy I like to handcuff with him.
Oh yeah,
just because I like the upside that Booker has.
Yeah, I definitely like the upside too. So yeah, the common theme with a lot of these running backs, make sure if you do draft these guys, you're looking in the mid to late rounds to handcuff them.
This is a guy that you can get in the 4th round that could be an RB1. I'm not saying he's going to.
Yeah, and you see, and just as a contrast, I'd rather have C.J. Anderson in the 4th than I would Eddie Lacy in the 2nd.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so he's a guy I can see myself actually drafting this year. Eddie Lacy, I think he's going to go way too early for me.
Yeah, CJ's been falling to me in a lot of my mock drafts.
Anyways, so we'll go to my number 15, and I know that Johnny wants to suck his dick too, Mr. Dion Lewis, who we actually saw a video of recently, and he looks good. He looks fast. He looks slick.
He looked pretty slick, man. He looked like he was getting his cuts down.
Yeah. He
looked like he's ready to play some football. I mean, I would like to see him actually take some contact, but yeah, he looked good. I got him just a spot higher at 14, so I'm not really sucking his dick because you got him almost just as high.
Yeah, I did. He's another guy that he represents a lot of high upside for me. Dion Lewis, barring injury setbacks or anything like that, he's a guy, got a lot of speed. I love the way he runs. He's that guy. He's so versatile. He can get around people. I mean, there's really nothing not to like about him. He catches passes out of the backfield just fine. I think the only thing, and this isn't really a big thing, I know I talked to you before the show about this, But I know it's just a slight change. What's that?
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Brain fart. I had Tom Brady. With this pending 4-game suspension.
Yeah.
I mean, he's probably kind of perfected. The quarterback position in that offense. It's going to be interesting to see what a new quarterback does in there. Garoppolo. But I don't think it really affects it too much because he's just pitching it back or passing it.
Do you think they're going to run the ball more and it might cut into Lewis's production a little bit? I mean, he runs the ball a little bit, but not like.
What? Honestly, I think that.
Do you think that maybe we're not overlooking some guy like a Garrett Blunt or something?
That's what I was thinking. Yeah. So I'm thinking that a guy like Garoppolo or somebody or whoever ends up playing quarterback for him. What? Garoppolo? Garoppolo. I fucking hate him. Whatever his name is. Anyways, I don't know what that means for Dion Lewis, but I do know that probably a newer quarterback or one that doesn't have as good of a grasp as like Tom Brady does is you're probably going to get a lot of traditional handoffs and stuff like that more than
I could see that happening. I guess.
Yeah. But, I mean, Dion Lewis, I can't say enough about the guy.
Guess how many people had more targets than Dion Lewis per game last year?
Nobody.
Not even like a Danny Woodhead or not even...
he was on your fantasy team, wasn't he, last year?
Yeah, I picked him up after week 1.
Yeah, that was a heartbreaker, wasn't it? And you lost him.
Well, it was kind of to be too expected. I mean, he's been out of the league for the past 3 years because of injuries. It wasn't really that unexpected that happened to him.
Yeah, that's true, I guess, but it still hurts when he's productive and then all of a sudden he goes away.
Oh, trust me, it was stinging me a little bit, and then it was just. I'm looking for him to come back. It looked like he's ready to come back.
Yeah.
Who'd you got at 14?
14, guy we just talked about, C.J. Anderson. I like what he represents. I won't get on too much.
So we kind of did a little flip flop there, huh?
Yeah, pretty much.
Why do you like Anderson more than Lewis?
I don't know. I think
he represent more carries, obviously.
I think more carries, and I think he's got more maybe about the same as far as touchdowns. But I like what I see out of Anderson. I think that you're going to get a great season out of him either way. I think the biggest thing is that Dion Lewis, I feel like, he's more of not the traditional under center running back, and C.J. Anderson is. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but I think that I like C.J. Anderson a little bit more because, Denver showed with that contract, he is the guy.
I just think if Lewis actually does stay healthy all year, he's probably RB1 just off of all those receptions.
What do you think C.J. Anderson averaged as far as yards per carry last year? Because it might surprise you.
I mean, I know he was on a real tear towards the end of the season. I want to say probably 4.5.
4.7. Yeah. He's a good yards per carry guy. I mean,
he really turned it on towards the end of the year.
Yeah, and I think that we're going to see the back half of last year Anderson, and we're going to see full season that Anderson next year.
Is that what you're expecting?
That's what I'm expecting.
Is that why you think that he could be an RB1?
I think so too. I think he was, because last year you got to think about it. They were flip flopping between who was going to start the game because Kubiak was like, "Oh, Hillman's going to start this game." Okay, C.J. Anderson's going to start this game because neither one of them were being consistent. And now with that contract, that pretty much tells me Denver's like, "Okay, you're the fucking starter no matter what." So we'll see. But I'm expecting a lot of great things out of C.J. Anderson next year.
I'm kind of surprised that they brought Hillman back.
It was really a head scratcher for me, but it is nice because he's got to come in on third down.
Obviously, now it kind of makes sense though because now they have 3 producer backs that could probably produce.
Yeah, I don't think that I would for fantasy purposes I would just stay the fuck away from Hillman. I mean, maybe handcuff Anderson.
What if he starts surprising you like last year and he starts cutting into his work? The
thing about Hillman is he's always been kind of undersized. So that's what gets me too. I love how C.J. Anderson's that north and south runner, and he's not afraid to lower the pads and just go through. So, without further ado, who do you got at number 14?
Well, we already covered.
Oh yeah, that's right. We'll quick off your number 13.
Number 13, I have Thomas Rawls. I used to have him a little bit higher, but I'm starting to move him down a little bit. kind of moving towards all that movement of all those running backs that they got that might cut into his production.
Nice.
Yeah. He looked like he can cut into his time. He looked pretty good over there in Notre Dame.
Yeah, he did. I'm still pretty high on Thomas Rawls.
He's coming off of a dislocated ankle, too.
Yeah.
So.
Well, you know what? Thomas Rawls, for me, in flashes last year, I mean, he showed that he has the stuff. Can he stay healthy for an entire season and do it?
I'm pretty sure he was like a top 3 back at for a certain stretch of the year.
Oh, yeah, no, he was, yeah. No, he definitely was. I think he was actually the top back for like a 3-week span.
Yeah.
He was on fire for a little bit. You know what? For me, if I'm Seattle, unless CJ Prosise shows me anything differently in like training camp and stuff, I'm looking at Rawls like, hey, you're the guy. You know, out of all the backs in Seattle, I know there was a little bit of confusion with Duane Harris and all this other shit. Juju Harris, yeah, bad Juju Harris. But oh god, let's not bring that up.
I think he got like flip flopping from like Seattle to
I think
San Francisco.
No, he did. Yeah, he did go to San Francisco. Actually, I think I have him on this list. Thomas Rawls. I see great things out of him too. I have him I have exactly one spot higher than you, but
at 12.
Yeah, I have him number 12. I think that this guy, he's got high touchdown upside.
I was just about to ask you how many touchdowns you think he can get.
I think potentially 10.
Yeah, I don't really see him that high. There wasn't a whole lot of backs that had like a 10 touchdown season last year. I think maybe you can get like 8.
Yeah, no, I definitely see high touchdown upside with this guy. So I'm not saying he'll get 10. I'm just saying that I see
really
him around there.
How confident is Russell Wilson going to be next year? That's really. I mean, are they going to be more of a passing team, or are they going to be more of a running team?
All I'm saying is if Rawls comes out of the gate and runs like he did last year, I think we're going to see great things out of him.
Who did you have at 13?
I had Mr. Carlos Hyde. I know I had kind of a stark contrast from you.
Why are you so high on Mr. Carlos Hyde? Like, I got him at 19. You got him at 13.
Carlos Hyde, he's an enigma to me. He represents a lot of high upside. I know that's been a really big theme of mine tonight, but Carlos Hyde represents a lot of upside. I think that he will get around 8 touchdowns next year. He's definitely gonna eclipse 1,000 yards in my mind. Granted, he stays healthy, and I even see a little bit of out of the backfield catching too going on with him. Man,
I just don't know I don't know how many touchdowns he can actually score. I don't think he's gonna be able to get 8.
All I'm saying
I don't see him really scoring more than like 6. I definitely see him eclipsing like 1,000 yards, and I mean he's certainly going to catch some passes. I don't know if they're going to bring somebody else in there that can do that or what's going on, but I did hear some reports that Chip Kelly does want to throw him some passes towards his way, so we'll see what happens. But I just don't. You're saying that he could basically be like close to being an RB1. He's 13. That's right on the cusp.
I think he could. Yeah, no, I don't think there's any question he could be. I'm just saying it's going to depend on him staying healthy. Because he proved it last year. If San Francisco can get teams to respect the pass enough, I think that he really could just be that guy back there. I like him in a Chip Kelly system too. I think that a lot of people believe that too. I really do like him though in that Chip Kelly system. I think that's going to benefit him a lot. Like just out of sorry if I'm stalling for time here. I'm trying to look it up right now. What he finished out last year with only playing like 2 or 3 games.
I know. The first game of the year, he had like 200 yards and like 2 touchdowns or some crazy shit like that against Minnesota, and everyone thought, "Wow, Minnesota's terrible," and then ended up going and doing pretty decent.
Yeah, I know, but that also should speak volumes to you on like what Carlos Hyde can really do when healthy. And I can't pull it up right now, so we'll go ahead and go to. Your number 12 then?
Before we jump into the RB12 or the RB1s, can we just name off some honorable mentions that didn't make this list?
Yeah, I would love that.
So some of these people that didn't make our list, Danny Woodhead did not make our list. I'm kind of disappointed in myself for not putting him in here.
I wanted to, but you know what?
PPR is like top 5 running back last year.
Yeah, no, he was. Yeah,
I just can't believe I just left him up. I'd probably put him in there over Hill, probably.
Yeah, I don't know. Right now, these rankings are very tentative, but yeah, I would like to sneak him in there at one point. I don't know. It's going to depend on a lot of things. I wouldn't be surprised if I see Ryan Matthews and Jeremy Hill move out of my top 24.
Let's see who else is on this list that we didn't rank. Duke Johnson. I think that he should do some good things this year. We left Gio Bernard off the list. I think he can do some good things this year. There's still a lot of usable players that we didn't put on this list. Yeah. We're going to cover them in another show.
Yeah, Matt Jones, Frank Gore.
I got Matt Jones. But yeah, Frank Gore didn't make the list. Amir Abdullah, Melvin Gordon, TJ Yeldon. Players like that are off the list.
Right.
Okay, so let's jump into our RB1s, yeah?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so I know we already covered my RB. My first one is at number 12, Matt Forte. We covered him a little bit. I do feel like he can catch a decent amount of passes this year in that backfield. It wouldn't surprise me if it was over 50, because he's been getting over 50 catches this year.
I can see it happening.
The question is, he's never been a big touchdown guy. So he's really going to have to get those catches to be an RB1.
Yeah.
Don't you agree?
Yeah, I would have to agree.
Who do you have at number 12?
Number 12, I got Thomas Rawls, like I was just talking. I just had him a spot higher, but I like him on that Seattle team. Good offensive line, good blocking. I mean, he shows what he can do when he's healthy. I mean, sky's the limit for this guy.
And who do you have at number 11?
Number 11, marking. Oh, actually, no. I'm sorry, I switched him up. Devonta Freeman. I'm not particularly high on him. I do think he'll have a decent season though next year. I think that catching out of the backfield is going to really save his numbers next year.
What do you have that pulled up? Like how much did he average per carry last year?
Let's see. I'll pull that up.
I just feel like it wasn't really that high, but maybe it was higher than I thought.
Yeah, I know everybody was just really going crazy about him last year, but yeah, Freeman. You want to know his total yards?
And I know it was a good amount of yards, but I'm saying what was his yards per carry?
Yeah, yards per carry, only 4.
It was exactly at 4?
Exactly 4.
Yeah, see, it wasn't terrible. I knew he wasn't terribly efficient at running the ball last
year.
year.
However, he does have that high touchdown upside, so
that's because Matt Ryan sucked so much dick in the red zone last year that they had to run it in.
Yeah, he was definitely not Matty Ice.
He's like, how do I throw the ball to Julio in the red zone? How do I do that?
Yeah, he just didn't get it.
So yeah, I mean that team as a whole is going to have to get better in the red zone. I think if that team as a whole gets better in the red zone, you can definitely see Freeman up here, because I have Freeman at number 10. He's not number 11. I have him at number 10. I have him on here because I still think that he did enough. He carved out a role in that offense. He's going to get the ball enough to be mentionable.
The only thing is that it really does scare me that, like the first half of last season compared to the last half, we saw like almost 2 different people.
I think there's only like 2 or 3 games in the second half of last year where he had more than 50 yards rushing.
I know, yeah, that kind of scares me.
He scored 2 touchdowns. All of his touchdowns were at the beginning of the year. Like he had like a 3-touchdown game, like a 2-touchdown game.
Yeah, he's one of my big bust alert players. He's a guy that you're drafting. I do think he'll have a productive enough season next year, but I do see that there's that bust potential there on him.
I mean, look where he's going in drafts. It's like right there at the beginning of the second.
Oh, I know,
He was going in the first.
I don't see him on my team next year because I don't feel like I want to take that high of a pick.
He was going in the first. It seems like his stock is dropping a little bit.
Yeah, that's my thing with him. I just think that he's going to go way too high for where I want him. So if you want to get Devonta Freeman, you better be willing to draft him like top of the second.
I mean, the only reason why I think he's going to be an RB1 this year is he caught like 73 passes last year.
Yeah,
that's a shit ton.
Yeah, he did get you fucked ton of passes.
I think he was one of only 2 players last year to get 500 yards rushing and 500 yards receiving.
Yeah, you're right. Definitely right.
Guy I have at 11, I'm really not that big on either, is I got LaShawn McCoy. I know you originally had him pretty high. You moved him down a little bit. I had him at 11. I just think that there's a lot of tread on those tires. that obviously they're going to bring in Carlos Williams for some work as well, as he proved. Although there's another news that I just remembered because we brought him up. Carlos Williams showed up overweight.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, that bodes well for Shady, but
that's strike one, right?
Yeah.
Strike two would be training camp.
Yeah, you better get his ass in shape. Yeah, all I got to say on Shady is, I'll talk about him in a second too, but, he's a guy, you are right, he's getting him in that age where it's maybe a little over the hill for running backs, but I like what he represents. I
absolutely think he's going to, if he stays healthy, he's going to be an RB1.
Yeah, he was nearly averaging 4.5 yards a carry, nearly 900 yards in the season. We know he had a little bit of injury concerns last year, but he's a guy, I was disappointed by his touchdowns last year. He only had 3. A lot of that work went to Carlos Hyde at some points.
Carlos Hyde, you mean
Carlos Williams. I'm sorry. But yeah, he's a guy I have ranked a little higher than you just because I just see a huge, not so much upside, but I do see him having a better year than he did last year. I feel like he's going to finish with RB1 numbers.
Do you have his last year numbers up?
How
many carries did he have?
Carries, he had. It was averaging almost 17 carries a game.
Did you say how many he had on the whole year or what?
Yeah, 203.
Yeah, so I see a very similar workload next year.
I see a similar workload. I think he'll do more with it next year. I feel like he's got something to prove. He's got a chip on his shoulder.
Really, the only thing that was really bad about him last year is he didn't really catch a ton of passes, and he didn't really score touchdowns.
Yeah, that's the big thing that's going to hurt his stock. I'm a little higher on him than most, but I think that he will. I think that touchdown number is going to go up. I don't see him like scoring 10. I see like 8 though. I can see that happening.
So we already covered Freeman that I have at 10. Who you got at 10?
I know that I've already bashed him enough this offseason, but Jamal Charles, he's a guy, don't get me wrong, I love Jamal Charles. I love what he represents. He, however, as we all know, injury concerns, and I don't feel comfortable with him drafting him because of where he's going.
Obviously, you see him as a 3rd round pick, even though he's a 2nd.
I do, yeah. Honestly, it's going to take a lot for me to want to draft Jamal Charles because he scares me. I don't want to waste my 2nd round pick on a guy that could potentially get injured. I'm just not comfortable with doing that.
What if he stays healthy? Where do you think he's actually going to finish?
If he stays healthy, easily top 10 in the league.
Do you see him as a top 5 running back?
He could, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's already shown us he can be. It's no question about that. The only thing
I just don't know if he ever gets that same workload again.
I don't know either.
That's kind of why I have him
the only
little bit lower than the elite guys, I guess.
Well, yeah, and that's what I'm saying too. Is that I've already mentioned a couple times. You got Spencer Ware, a guy that Kansas City hasn't been shy that they're telling people that they're going to use him in the red zone.
Spencer Ware, he was up there towards the top of the league, and the number of rushes that gained positive yards. He was towards the top of the league last year, actually.
Yeah, no, he is. Actually, I think I
think it was him and Gio Bernard. It was another guy that you wouldn't really expect.
Yeah, you know what? He was averaging 5.6 yards a carry last year. Spencer Ware was, and he had 6 touchdowns.
Yeah, that's another thing. Spencer Ware proved he can get it done in the goal line pretty consistently.
So, I feel like he could potentially, take some of that work from him. And you got to think, too, you got Charmander West, who we always talk about. But
you know what? I think Charmander West is going to just take a back seat.
I think so, too. I think Spencer Ware kind of proved last year he took his job.
Well, it's not only that, but, look, even when it was just, when you didn't even know about these guys, it was just Charles and Niles Davis seen none of the carries.
Yeah, that was bullshit. Because a lot of Jamal Charles owners handcuffed him with Niall Davis. And then
even, in the years past.
Oh, yeah.
Even the years past where when Charles was healthy, he hardly ever seen the field.
Yeah, no.
So
Jamal Charles is a guy who you better fucking have him handcuffed. In fact, honestly, he's a guy that I'm staying away from too because I don't know who to handcuff him with. Am I going to handcuff him with Ware? Am I going to handcuff him with West? if I'm drafting Jamal Charles, I better be prepared to handcuff him with Bolt.
You're not handcuffing him with Niles Davis?
Shut up.
I actually heard that he was wanting to, like, he thinks he's going to be like a starter on another team.
Niles Davis?
Yeah.
Who's he with now? Is it New England? Or
no, I think he's still with Kansas City. He's probably going to get cut, man.
Wow, okay.
I mean, they got 4 running backs.
I thought he left in free agency and signed a contract somewhere. I don't know.
Well, he might. I don't fucking know.
Honestly, I think any team he goes to, unless it's a very, like, not particularly deep team, yeah, he's going to get cut. So, anyways, moving right along, Johnny, who do you got at number 10? Oh, wait.
Yeah, I already said Freeman, man.
Oh, yeah, so we'll go to your number 9.
I got number 9. Got Jamal Charles.
Jamal Charles. So tell me what you see in Jamal Charles. What does he represent?
I think you were like, I asked you this question, because I think that he represents a top 5 talent.
Yeah, absolutely, no question about it.
But, I mean, the reason why I don't have him in the top 5 is because there is a lot of question marks. He does have injury issues. Maybe he might lose some of his workload. He's getting up there in age. I think he was 30 years old now.
Yeah.
29, 30 years old. If you're getting up there in age, you're going to lose some of your workload. That's smart. That prevents injury. So hopefully that helps him stay on the field a little bit more.
Yeah. I mean he's already proven that he's a great yards per carry runner, so, he's
one of the best of all time.
Yeah, exactly. And actually, he is. He has the best average of all time.
And he can catch the ball in the backfield. You love the elusiveness that he has when he has a good knee. Mm-hmm. So that's why that's what I represent, and that's surely why I put him in the top 10, especially above Freeman.
I don't think this is really worth mentioning, but I will say too, he has proven in years past he has a little bit of fumble trouble too. So that's another thing too. He's got those butterfingers, but like I said, for the guy like Charles, you're not really too worried about that. But
yeah.
All right.
Who you got at number 9?
Number 9, Mr. Mark Ingram, another guy who I last year, he was like a rock. That dude was just consistent all year round until he got hurt. He was just really consistent, and I love that about him.
I mean, that's really the thing. Can he stay healthy?
I think so. Honestly, it seemed to me when he got shoulder surgery last year, the Saints were kind of like, this is a lost season. They were pretty much nearly out of playoff contention, and they were just like, you know what, let's shut him down for because it was very surprising news. It happened in the middle of the week, and they were just like, oh yeah, he's getting shoulder surgery, by the way. And I think really he could have fought through that shoulder injury. Because it didn't seem like it was anything crazy. The reports I read, it wasn't like, oh God, like it's fucking torn. I was
sitting here wondering, like, why is Tim Hightower trending?
Yeah. I'm like, oh fuck. I made the mistake too. I was trying to grab, like when I first heard the news, I was like, fuck, I gotta grab CJ Spiller, thinking he was going to be the guy.
Oh,
and then and then I pretty much wasted a waiver wire because I was like, because I thought, I was like, my opinion there was, okay, New Orleans signed C.J. Spiller for something other than sitting on the fucking bench. But no, that's exactly why they signed him, to sit on the fucking bench. So
I couldn't believe how they used C.J. Spiller last year, man.
It was a travesty. You know what?
That's the biggest waste of money.
Yeah, they should be taken out and shot for the waste of money that they spent on C.J. Spiller because they
should just shoot him and then sell his organs back for the money that they wasted.
Well, personally, I think that they're both stupid because New Orleans, they already had kind of a crowded backfield. They had Mark Ingram, they had Kerry Robinson. I mean, why the fuck do they need to go out and need to get C.J. Spiller? Because he played so sparingly last year, it was like almost like not even worth it. And a guy with him,
and Ingram was catching a decent amount of passes last year.
Well,
too.
And here's the thing too, is that I don't think it was necessarily C.J.'s fault. It was the fact that they were just underutilizing him.
Yeah, we'll just leave you right here on the bench. You look good right there.
Yeah, he was a fucking bench warmer.
But I like Ingram too. Actually, I like him more than you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I mean, granted, if he stays healthy, I mean, he was like a top 5 back at one point last year.
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, I definitely got him. I got him at number 7. That shows you where I'm at with him.
Yeah. We're pretty similar though. I got him at 9. You got him at 7. So
yeah, and then we meet right in the middle at number 8.
Are we going to me?
I got Doug Martin.
We got... Oh, no, never mind. I'm sorry. I switched them up. I got Shady McCoy at number 8, too, so...
Yeah, so we already touched up on McCoy a little bit. I mean, was there a particular reason why you switched Martin with McCoy?
You know what? I know it's been kind of overblown, but I know that I sort of labeled him as Doug Martin as a bust. I'm not saying that he's going to be a bust. I'm saying that he's going to be a very productive back next year. I'm just saying I don't know if he can get the numbers that he got this year for various reasons. There's really not a whole lot of rhyme to the reason. I realized, though, when I originally did these rankings, I was a little too high on LaShawn McCoy. I needed to move him down a little bit. I am high on him. I just, I was a little too high on him. So, yeah, but Doug Martin, I think, is a very actually, well, I'll get into him when I actually put him. But Shady, I mean, I've already stated by him. I really do think that he's going to have a rebound year next year.
I think Martin. Would you be happy with Martin if maybe he didn't get you those 1,400 yards last year, but say he gets you like 1,100, but then he gets you like 10 touchdowns?
I'd be fine with that. 1,110 touchdowns. I'd be cool with that.
Because I mean, I do feel like he's gonna have a pretty good season though, because he has one of the easiest run schedules out there.
Yeah, that was one of those things that you brought it up, and I was kind of starting to look at it, and I was like, wow, you were right. Yeah, he has a
really easy run schedule this year, so I think that he can do better. I think that he can actually do better than number 8 where I have him at. I think he can crack into the top 5 again.
Oh, I think so too.
Yeah. Who did you put at number 8? You said McCoy, right?
Yeah, McCoy.
Right, so who do you got at 7?
I got Zeke Elliott.
Okay, because you got him a lot lower than I do. I'll tell you that. I didn't really think I was a Ezekiel Elliott guy until I started looking at these other backs. I was like, well, I think he might do better than him. I think he might do better than him. Yeah, you know what? The only reason I have him so low, I think I'm channeling my inner Bruce Arians and saying I don't trust rookies. So, and this might sound a little hypothetical or hypocritical because I had Todd Gurley on both of my teams last year, and I was like, like I had a fucking rookie, and he did great for me. But Ezekiel Elliott, there's just some guys that I like a little more than him. Like I got guys like Doug Martin, Lamar Miller, obviously APs, Todd Gurley's. There's just some guys that I just like a little bit more than Ezekiel Elliott. But I love the system that he's playing for. I love that offensive line in Dallas. I feel like he's going to do some real damage back there, assuming he stays healthy. I see him catching passes out of the backfield. I'm seeing him as a very versatile back. Do you know if they still have Lance Dunbar on their team?
I'm pretty sure he's going to be cut.
You think so?
Sure. I'm not sure. I don't remember off the top of my head if they do or not. But I mean, he's coming off a pretty major surgery.
I know he was on IR last year, but I'm saying like that's the only guy on that roster that I think could really really cut into any of his time because. I mean, Alfred Morris, he's a one-trick pony. All he's going to do is run the ball. He ain't going to catch the ball at all.
No, you're right, yeah.
And he's obviously going to play second fiddle to Ezekiel Elliott. So my thing is, I feel like he's going to be a 3-down back. He's going to be Mr. Let me do it all. Let me get you like 1,500 total yards. Let me get you your touchdowns. Like let me get you the catches. Like.
Yeah, no, I definitely like the situation. The only thing that's really holding him back is the fact that he's a rookie. Like that to me is the only thing that I don't like about the guy. I think that everything's there.
He has to play behind the best offensive line
in football. Yeah, exactly.
That's probably like the most
any running back
attractive thing about him.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I was just going to say that. Until I started really taking a long look at it and looking at the team that he plays for, I was like, wow, he's really going to be on a tear next year. I feel like.
People remember when everyone was all over John Randall's nuts? Or Joseph Randall's nuts on that?
Yeah, Joseph Randall.
Yeah, I traded that fucker away for Mari Cooper.
Yeah. That guy got he got caught stealing, boxers and cologne at a mall. And I was like, bro, you make millions of dollars. How are you stealing this?
Dude, I think he got arrested at some club for punching a cop or something like that.
Oh, I mean,
remember I posted that on the message board last year?
Yeah, you did. Yeah, I don't know what was going on with that guy. He's lost his fucking mind.
But yeah, that's why I actually have Zeke all the way up at number 4.
Wow. Yeah, that you're a lot higher on him than I am. So wait, you're telling me you got Lamar Miller and Doug Martin below him?
I do.
Wow. Okay. I mean, that's not surprising to me. I just, for me, I have a hard time putting a rookie so high up there. But don't get me wrong, I do like him. I just don't see him on my team come next year because I don't value him as high as I guess you do and other people do.
So we already touched up on Ingram, who's my number 7. So I'll go into my number 6.
All right, just hop right into it.
My number 6 is David Johnson.
Yeah, I mean, it really doesn't need to be said how much I love David Johnson.
We will get into how much you love David Johnson. We're going to get into that right now, actually, because you surprised me where you put him. I was not expecting you to put David Johnson number 1 overall.
Yeah, you know what? And it was really hard. It was really hard for me to do that. But
do you truly believe that he's going to be the running back that scores the most points this year?
Yes. Yeah, I do. I absolutely do. You know what?
Even if Le'Veon stays healthy all year, do you think you outscore Le'Veon Bell?
No, I don't actually. No, that's a good thing. It's a good reason that you brought it up because I want to set the record straight on this one. I had him and Le'Veon in a clear tie for first. The only thing is I do like Le'Veon a little bit more. But the thing is the only simple reason that I put him at number 2 is just that injury concern for me. So that's why I have David Johnson on my board higher. But yeah, they're dead even in my thing. In fact, I even have, if we're just going, say they hypothetically stay healthy all season, I have Le'Veon a little higher than him, but that injury concern concerns just a little bit. So I got him at number 1.
I got David Johnson at number 6. I got him kind of low. I'm not as high on him as you.
I can't believe you got Lamar Miller ahead of him.
Well, here's why I have David Johnson so low. It's just because, I mean, you only got a little bit of piece of the pie last year. You only got to see him in a small section of the season. You know what I mean? Can he take this kind of action throughout the whole season? Also, they're bringing back Chris Johnson, who was very effective in that same offense last year, and I don't think he's gonna really challenge him for the starting job or anything.
No.
But I definitely think he's gonna get in some carries. I think maybe even on third down,
maybe as a change of pace here and there. I don't know.
I see David Johnson closer to a second round talent than I see him as a first round talent.
Really? You know,
don't get me wrong. He definitely has the potential to be a top 5 running back. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. He very well could get over 70 catches next year.
I mean, he proved last year. What can't that guy do? I mean, he was the only guy who I believe he was the only rookie ever in history to return a punt for a touchdown. Actually, I think he did it all in the same game. He returned a punt for a touchdown, returned a kickoff for a touchdown, and scored a touchdown on the ground in the same game. And this is before he was even getting starter reps. And, I mean...
he really didn't start until week 11.
No, right. No, I know we have a small sample size on him. But here's my question to you then. Do you think that a guy like Le'Veon with D'Angelo Williams behind him who proved that, he still got the stuff... Do you really? I mean, I think that D-Will will cut into Le'Veon's workload, a tiny bit, not but I think it's going to be the same situation with Chris Johnson in Arizona.
Wait, Pittsburgh's offenses they just use one guy. They don't really even when it was just D'Angelo and they had a couple other scrubs on the team, it was just D'Angelo. And then when Le'Veon Bell came back off the suspension, it was all Le'Veon until he got injured.
Yeah, that's just what scares me about Le'Veon is the injury. And you know what? The only reason I'll get into it right now. The only reason, because I know this is very surprising news for a lot of people. Todd Gurley, I don't like the offense he plays in. I love Todd Gurley. Don't like the offense. I love David Johnson's offense, the best high volume. People are going to respect that pass, so it's going to open things up for him. Going to give him some breathing room. AP, he's getting to that point where he's kind of over the hill, but we'll get into all these a little bit later. But no, I'm hey, sorry, not sorry. David Johnson, he's going to be a top 5 back next year.
All right, so who do you have at number 6 then?
Number 6, I have Doug Martin.
So you got Doug Martin even higher as me. Didn't you peg him as a guy that you're expecting of having a bad season, or not really a bad season, but not a down season?
A down season, yeah. I think that Doug Martin will have a good season next year. Don't get me wrong. I think that expecting the 1,400 yards, though, that's kind of out of the question. I see him more at he's going to get 10, maybe 10-plus touchdowns. I see a lot of touchdowns from him next year.
You really think he's going to get that many touchdowns?
I can see it happening.
Wow.
I think so, too, especially with the fact that, I think that the Tampa Bay offense, it's suited for him, ground and pound. I just, Doug Martin, I think that he's going to have, if I had to put a number on the yards I think he's going to get next year, I'd say it's like probably about right around 11.
And he's going to have to be cuffed with one of my favorite players, Charles Sims.
Yeah, Sims.
If you have Doug Martin, I would own Sims as well.
Yeah, you should have Doug's.
Let's be fair. He's gotten injured in half of the seasons he's played so far. Like injuries that kept him out of games.
Yeah, that's another reason why I did label him that way, is because he does. We can't pretend that he doesn't have injury history.
He's sandwiched 2 bad seasons in between his good seasons, so we'll see what happens with him. I do think that he's going to have a fine season next year. Apparently, you think he's going to have an even better season than I, because I don't see him getting 10 touchdowns.
I see that touchdown upside, man.
All right, so now we're going to crack into our top 5 here.
Top 5.
All right, my number 5, I have Lamar Miller. I think that he is going to be used a lot like he always wished he was used in Miami. I do see him getting those 20 carries, or not 20 carries, but 20 touches a game.
Mm-hmm.
I see him filling in that role that Arian Foster used to roll with, and trust me, there's some good numbers he was putting up in there when he was staying healthy, so there's a lot to like over there. Who do you got at number 5?
I actually have Lamar Miller as well.
So we both have him at number 5. What are some things that you like about him?
There's not a whole lot not to like about Lamar Miller. He's playing in a pretty good system in Houston. Remains to be seen what we'll see from him exactly, but he's got the speed. He's got all the intangibles that come with that. He's a guy. Let's not pretend what he did last year. He was averaging 4.5 yards a carry, nearly 900 yards in the season last year. I know he slowed down significantly, and he was getting underutilized. I'm telling you, if Houston utilizes him the way that he should, he's going to have a monster season next year.
He was getting like 12 or 13 carries a game or something like that.
But yeah, think about
the way he was used was ridiculous.
Yeah, but think what he was doing with those limited carries,
he
too.
He was still top 5 back last year or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if he got 300 carries instead of 200?
Oh, yeah. Just unreal. Yeah.
Give him another 100 carries, he's averaging, 4.5 yards a carry? That's another 450 yards right there.
Yeah.
That's like almost a 1,500-yard season.
Yeah. No, I know. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah. The guy I think is going to be an absolute monster next year as long as he's utilized the right way in Houston.
And granted, even if you wanted to be a little bit mean and bump his yards per carry down to 4.2 because he's getting a lot more carries, he'd still have a really good season.
Yeah, no, absolutely right. I really don't see. That's the only thing I can even think about that's going to be bad for him is that new system.
I see him getting plenty of carries, plenty of catches. The thing that I might wish that I would see more out of him though is the touchdowns. I don't know how many touchdowns he's going to get in that Houston offense.
That is true. He did only have.
He had I think 8 or 9 last year. But,
yeah, he had 8. Yeah.
But I'm saying I think that might be hard to match over there in Houston. I think because they got Hopkins is the man over there.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Who do you have at number 4? Obviously, I have Ezekiel Elliott at number 4.
I got Adrian Peterson all day. Like I said, I would have him higher on this list. I just think that, every year I think that I just keep getting him maybe moving him one spot down just because I'm thinking maybe this is the year.
Another year older.
Yeah, another year older, there's a lot of tread on those tires. Let's not act like that's not a thing. However, he did sit most of 2 years ago off, so he does, I guess that helps him a little bit, But I don't know. You know what you're getting.
You gotta love what you've seen out of him last year, right?
And you gotta know what you're getting out of AP.
You're getting yards and you're getting touchdowns. You're probably not getting as many catches anymore.
Let's not pretend that Adrian Peterson didn't put up nearly 1,500 yards in the season last year, averaging 4.5 yards a carry. He got the volume definitely. He had 327 carries all year. He's getting averaging over 20 carries a game. Just listen to that number again. He was averaging over 20 yards a carry. He was the only rusher in the league.
Averaging over 20 carries a game?
20 carries a game. Yeah. That's what I meant. He was the only rusher in the league that was averaging over 20 carries in a game. So the volume's there. Don't see much out of Teddy Bridgewater developing as a quarterback or as so I feel like he's just going to be like, this is my plan. AP, take it. See what you can do with it.
I mean, the only thing you got to worry about is he's, like you said, he's getting up there in age. Maybe his workload gets cut down a little bit. They do have Jerick McKinnon over there. He doesn't really play a lot on third down. Would you say that AP would be a guy that you would want to handcuff with McKinnon?
Yeah, I think that it's just a good habit as far as principle to if you get one of these top backs, you should handcuff him.
I mean, I'm really not a big proponent on handcuffs just because I feel like it's a wasted roster space. But when one of those guys does go down, it's like you already got him, and he's right there in your team. You gotta rush to the waiver wire. You can actually get a good night rest.
Yeah, exactly. You don't have to stay up and wait till midnight, hope you get him, put in a claim, and then go to the bottom of the waivers. It's just you avoid the headache. And I think with AP, with the age he's getting at, I think you're going to have to handcuff him.
All right. So obviously, we know you have David Johnson at 1. I have Le'Veon Bell at 1. I have Gurley at 2.
I got Gurley at 3.
So I mean, that's really the only guy. That's really the only guy in this list that we haven't talked about, right?
Todd Gurley, I love it. The only thing that scares me about Todd Gurley next year is I feel like we haven't seen him. He runs primarily out of the behind center, and the thing is that you got a guy like Jared Goff who's used to running out of the shotgun. So how's he going to do? Are we going to see DeMarco Murray 2.0 next year, or are we going to see
I don't really think you gotta worry about.
I know I'm over-exaggerating. I'm just bringing up these questions that you should have.
Well, I mean, the question you should have is how many is he going to actually be able to catch the ball more than he did last year? Last year he only had 20 something, 21 receptions or something like that. You'd like to, if you're paying a top dollar price for a running back like this, you would like them to catch more passes, wouldn't you?
I would assume so.
Think about the guys that we have listed up here, like Bell, Lamar Miller, David Johnson, Mark Ingram. They can all catch the ball. They can all catch.
Mm-hmm.
Zeke, well, that remains to be seen. AP can catch the ball. He doesn't anymore.
Yeah, it doesn't really. Not too much.
They got a guy for that. But I'm just saying, a lot of these guys on here, they can catch the ball. Can he do that?
You know what? It remains to be seen, but here's my other thing too, and I know I brought this up plenty. Last year we saw teams, he's a must-start kind of guy every week in, week out. But what he was doing, he was frustrating fantasy owners with the fact that fucking the Rams could not throw a fucking pass last year, no matter who was at quarterback. Case Keenum.
None of those quarterbacks scare anybody.
No, that's my point. And then if I'm even
none of those receivers scare anybody.
Yeah, well, if I'm even like Jared Goff, Jared Goff's not exactly scaring me yet. He's a rookie. So he obviously doesn't have a whole lot of options in the pass game except for Tavon Austin, who's really not even a true wide receiver.
But Fisher said he can get 100 catches this year.
Don't make me laugh. I mean, so it remains to be seen, but I do think that Todd Gurley is going to have an absolutely monster season next year. I think he's pretty much, in my eyes, he's a lock to finish top 5 next year.
I mean, I think I got him at 1,200 yards rushing, 8 or 9 touchdowns. You can get 10, I believe.
I think he will get 10.
Yeah, and I think I only got him at maybe 250, 300 yards receiving.
Yeah, I don't really see a whole lot in the receiving thing. That's the main reason why I have guys like David Johnson, probably the surprise of our rankings, ranked ahead of Todd Gurley. I really have Le'Veon and David Johnson's really a toss-up to me because they're both excellent at catching the ball in the backfield. They're both excellent yards per carry runners. They're both excellent touchdown upside guys,
They probably have a big dick, right?
Probably. I mean, who knows? Tight for mass. I'm just joking. Inside joke. But that's why I have those guys rated ahead of Todd Gurley, just strictly because they can catch passes out of the backfield and better than he can. So that and they also both play for better offenses. And that's
always usually a safe opinion,
right? And I know we have a similar philosophy as far as it goes. Hey, when in doubt, if you're looking at these two guys, go for the better offense.
Which one of your guys that you have ranked as an RB1 could you see finishing outside of that?
It pains me. It really does. But there's I think the most obvious choice right now is LaShawn McCoy or Devonta Freeman. I can see both of those guys finishing outside.
I could definitely see McCoy finishing outside of the top 12. I really see him having a reduced season. Not really maybe because of injury, or maybe just because he doesn't see as many carries.
Right.
So I got there's two guys that kind of jump out at me. Is obviously McCoy jumps out at me, and like you said, Freeman. I still think that they're both gonna have pretty decent seasons. Just maybe they don't finish as RB1s.
Maybe, yeah. But as far as like those guys, who do you see outside like RB2s that could maybe jump in and be RB1s this year?
Well, definitely. I don't mean to be all over his nuts, but Dion Lewis, I could see it finishing as an RB1, just off of receptions alone. I could see someone like an Eddie Lacy, like I said, if he was to actually
recapture the magic,
you get those touchdowns, and that offense gets back on track. And obviously, I named off Ajayi earlier, but what about you? Who do you got? Like maybe anyone different than I named?
One similar, Ajayi. I think that he could definitely. He's got the upside. I have him ranked pretty low, a little higher than you, but I think that he's a guy that we just have so many question marks on him. But I'm saying that all the intangibles are there. He can do it. But my big candidates for finishing as RB1s are Mr. Carlos Hyde and C.J. Anderson.
You think? Yeah, that's another guy that came to my mind was C.J. But it's not a bad choice. Yeah,
and I can definitely see with Carlos Hyde. I know I have him ranked a lot higher on my board than you do, but Carlos Hyde, I think that he can. I would say that it wouldn't be a surprise to me if he ends up surprising everybody and has just one fucking hell of a season. So.
And obviously, it's still June, guys. Our rankings are going to change like 50 more times until the season ends, or season starts. So, we're going to have a few more shows that are going to come out there that are going to be like this. So, we'll keep on keeping you updated. Like, we moved this guy from 14 to 7, then we moved him back down to 10. Like, it's going to happen.
Yeah, it's going to happen. Guys are going to, with the situations, especially when training camp starts up, it's going to be all over the place. So, be on the eye for that. But.
I kind of have an idea of it by looking at it, but it'd be kind of nice to see like where a lot of their ADP is compared to where I ranked them. It's like, whoa, maybe I really don't like this guy there. I think it's a really important reason for why you should do your own rankings.
Yeah, exactly.
Do your own projections too.
Yeah,
it's like if I have this guy projected to do this, but he's projected to 750 yards, but he's going to get like 70 catches. Maybe I should probably move him up over this guy that's not really projected to score any touchdowns.
Yeah,
right?
No, exactly. Yeah, you're right. Well, I think that does it for our show today on running backs. So, you got any final thoughts, Johnny?
Yeah, sorry guys. We were going to fit receivers in this show as well, but as you can see, we're closing in on an hour and a half now, so we're just going to leave it to running backs for right now. We will cover up our ones and twos from receivers on our next show, and then we'll hope to jump into some quarterbacks and tight ends in the future. Hopefully that show doesn't take too long.
Everybody loves a tight end.
Yeah. So, I'd just like to thank you guys for listening. Follow us on Twitter at the Fifth Down FF.
Fifth Downers, we love you.
Yes, we all love you. Come check out our show. We'll be coming out later on this week.